Hello and welcome to video 7. I'm going to show you a few things in Microsoft Word to make it more user-friendly for you, and then I will take you to a couple of sites on the internet where you can practice your keyboarding and get better and faster with that skill that we've been working on. Okay, let's open up Microsoft Word together. Go ahead and go down to your Word icon that we pinned to your taskbar and open it up. If it doesn't open up large enough, you can go in the bottom right corner, zoom in, and make your paper larger. A few things that I always do when I sit down at a computer for the first time is to set my defaults. And so I'm going to show you how to set some of those, and you can follow along and do this with me. In the bottom right corner, I always zoom in so that my document fills up most of the screen rather than having something small. Then I move up above my scroll bar, and there's a little chunk of a ruler up here. And it's a toggle key, so if you click it, there isn't a ruler that appears, and if you click it again, the ruler does appear. You should always have a ruler on when you're using Microsoft Word. It allows you to line things up, especially if you do anything with bullets or numbers. So again, it's right here, a toggle button on and off above the scroll bar so you can turn the ruler on. You can also go to View, and in View you'll find the ruler. You can turn it on and off from there too. Tab on your ribbon view. You notice my ribbon is minimized right now. I can expand it so that it looks like yours does by clicking this arrow right here next to the question mark. Or I could have just double-clicked on the tab I was on, and that will minimize or expand it again so that it's open and you can see all the choices. I'll go back to my Home tab. All right, the third thing that I do when I'm setting my defaults and getting my screen ready at a new computer is to set up my Quick Access toolbar. That's this little toolbar up here at the top. When you click on these arrows, you can add buttons to it. I always like to have my New, that's the white paper to start something new, the Open, yellow folder so I can open something, the Save, that's the blue disk when I want to save. And then the rest of these that I have checked here are the Print Preview, so you can preview before you print your spelling and grammar, your Undo, your Redo, and that would be all that you would need normally. That would be 7 of them. Try that again here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that's how I set up my Quick Access toolbar, and that allows you to quickly access things. I don't go to the File tab very often to do things because I can quickly do them from my Quick Access toolbar. Then another thing that I do is I go into the font dialog box. So on your ribbon, this large area up here is called your ribbon. In your ribbon there is a font group. There's a little box next to the word font. Go ahead and click that to open it up. And then I always set the font that I like to use most often. So if you have a particular font you like to use, Times New Roman is a nice basic common font for doing reports. Regular is normally what you would want to set. And most people like 12 or 14. And if you set this here, you will have every document that opens up open to the way you like it. You can always change it, but it will automatically open that way because you're setting a default. Then down in the bottom left corner, you can click on Set as a Default after you have chosen the font that you like, and regular and 12 or 14 for the size. You click on Set as a Default. You want it to happen to all the documents, so every time you start a new one, it'll be set for the font that you have chosen, and you click OK. And then when you get a new blank document, like if you were to click this white piece of paper up here on your Quick Access toolbar, it should open up with Times New Roman size 14 if that's what you chose. Then I also always go into this group called the paragraph group. Next to the word paragraph, there's a little box again. If you click that, this one is so important. It comes to you automatically, this middle part, when Word sends out the program. They have the first one, the before, at 0. They have the after set at 10, and the line spacing set for multiple. And I don't know anybody who would want it set that way. That gives you big gaps between every type line that you do, and your documents will not look the way you want them to look. And so if you leave that before at 0, that'll be good. Change your after from 10 to 0. You can just click on the arrows here to make it go to 0. And then the line spacing, if you click on that arrow, you can choose single. You'll have single line spacing instead of lots of blank lines between your type lines. So this is something that everybody wants to know, and it's a default you should set every time you sit down at a computer and use Microsoft Word. It's 0, 0, single. And again, choose to set it as a default on all the documents and click OK. And then I usually go into File. I'll show you just a couple more in File that might interest you. So in File, there's something called Options towards the bottom. If you go second to the bottom, you can click on Options. If you like your background color to be different, there's 3 choices. There's blue, silver, and black. There's an arrow right here so that you can change it when you're in Microsoft Word. Mine is set for blue right now. There's blue, silver, and black. Pick one of those. Then I always go over here to the third one down that says Proofing and click that. Way to the right, there's a button to click on that says Autocorrect Options. You can click that. And I always uncheck the third one down. It says capitalize the first letter of a sentence. The thing is, it doesn't just capitalize the first letter of every sentence. It also, every time you press Enter, capitalizes the first letter of the new line. And so that can be annoying at times. If you want something capitalized, you can shift and make it capital rather than having it do it for you in places where you're not even wanting it to be done. So that third one down, I always uncheck. You can just click OK then on that. Then this is back in front of you again, the proofing area. If you don't uncheck this top box right here, when you do a spell check, your words that are in uppercase or capital letters, they won't get spell checked. So it comes to you automatically with that checked. I'm not sure why that would be, because I would want to spell check all my words, whether they're capitals or not. So if you uncheck that, they'll all get spell checked. And then there's one more area that I like to turn off. So if you go to where it says Advanced on the left side, and you scroll down into the Cut, Copy, Paste section, halfway down the page it says Cut, Copy, and Paste. And the second to last box says to show the Paste Options button. When you copy and paste something or cut and paste something, after you paste it, there's this little button that shows up that I consider to be very annoying. I never use it. It's always in my way, so I always uncheck this box. So you might find that to come in handy also. And then you can OK out of that. And those are the things that I set for defaults when I'm using Microsoft Word. I find everything to work much better for me after making those changes. If you haven't learned what some of the parts to Microsoft Word are called yet, I'll just mention that there are 2 bars, there are 2 toolbars, and then there's this large area called the ribbon. So let's just go through those. Again, the top one here is one of the toolbars. It's the Quick Access toolbar. If you forget what it's called, all you have to do is point to this arrow. Window opens up and tells you that you can customize your Quick Access toolbar. You can put any buttons up there that you want. Anything that you use on a regular basis can be put up there. And then this is your ribbon. The other toolbar is your mini toolbar. If you were to type something and then you selected it, select is when you click and drag. That's not called highlight, by the way. That's called select. When you select something, this mini toolbar shows up. So it's a chunk out of your ribbon in the font group. If you don't want to go way up to the ribbon, you can instead just use your mini toolbar. And then there are two bars. There's your status bar in Microsoft Word, and that tells you what page you're on out of how many pages there are. It also is where you're able to zoom in and zoom out and has a few other view features and things on it. That's the status bar. And then way at the bottom is your task bar. Task bar is very important. That's where we find our start orb. That's where we have our icons to open things like the internet or Microsoft Word. And in the bottom right corner of our taskbar is our date and our time. So those are some bars and toolbars in Microsoft Word, and it would be beneficial if you can learn what they're called. Okay, the plan was to take you to the internet now and show you a couple of different sites to help you with your keyboarding skills, but I've run out of time and space on this video, so you'll need to join me in video 8 to find out what those sites are. Thank you for watching today.